Good morning. Just getting ready to head into work, and this morning after a long weekend at work and a crazy Friday that I intended to take off, I decided yesterday that I'm just fed up um, with work. I'm fed up with my day job. I'm fed up with the career that I'm in, and I've dreamed of doing YouTube and content for a long time. And so I don't know, this morning I guess I'm just getting some practice in with the camera, getting some reps behind the camera. This isn't going to look great or probably sound all that great because I'm on my phone in my little Toyota Yaris. But yeah, so maybe I'll just talk a little bit about what happened this weekend and why I'm deciding that I want to start pursuing creation on YouTube, or just in general, So I, over the years, have dabbled in content creation off and on. I've been a part of a number of different podcasts. I've live streamed video games. I've made some YouTube videos. I've been a part of different communities over the years. And anyway, I've always had this like fire. That's the best way I can describe it, is like this fire inside me to create. And for as long as I can think back and remember, traditional jobs have just never done it for me. I remember growing up, being a teenager, and I worked at a grocery store when I lived in Arizona as a kid. And I remember when I was there, I was a big rollerblader. Back then in Arizona and across the country, rollerblading had kind of blown up as a sport. And I was really into it. And I remember I would go into that job. I worked as a bookkeeper. And I would go into that job earlier than I needed to so that I could also leave earlier than I was supposed to, just so that I could boot up and and hit the skate parks. And I would do it all alone. I had friends, of course, but most of those friends didn't get off until, later during the day. And I didn't want to wait for them. Oftentimes I didn't want to wait for them. So I would get off at noon most days, and sometimes even as early as 11:30, because I would go in at like 3:30, and I would just be out at the skate parks in the middle of the day, just ripping it by myself. And right, wrong, or indifferent, as an adult, I find that traditional jobs are just not it for me. I mean, and I can hold one down and I can do a good job. Over the years, I've worked myself to this, site supervisor position that I'm currently in. And so it's not that I can't do it, but it's not for me. So anyway, I had this catastrophe happen, and it's literally due to no fault of our own. The way my job works is we are a global consultation firm, essentially, with an operations department. And that's really just a fancy way of saying that in our industry, we meet with clients, we go over their systems, make recommendations for improvements, for efficiency and things like that, and then we also operate their equipment as a service. And so the equipment we're dealing with, we can consult all day long, and we also operate the client's equipment. And although I said we do consultations, we can't spend the client's capital for them. So if they decide that they don't want to spend the capital to make, meaningful improvements, we're basically stuck with the equipment this client leaves us with. And so anyway, that kind of paints this picture of what I do. And Friday, we took over this contract in May, and this past Friday, we had some automations glitches due to just poor programming or whatever. And we had been telling the client about their controls and automation issues the entire almost year that we've been here now. We've almost been at this site for a full year, and they've done nothing to invest in any meaningful improvements or fixes for their controls and automation. And so we had a pretty catastrophic event happen that was no fault of our own. And yet, we get this client that comes and blames us for it. It's a very hostile. It's a hostile environment. It's not fun, and the truth is I just don't care. I don't care enough about this job to fight the war that's in front of me. I don't care. I hate this. And so that really leaves me, Friday was kind of the last straw for me. That really leaves me with, well, what are you going to do then? And the thing that's been on the forefront of my mind for probably 15 years is creation. And so this is kind of my first step, I suppose, into just making something. Even if it's just a ranting video about my day job and why I want out. And I think largely what I'm going to do is use this channel as a throwaway channel. This channel's long been dead. It's taken several forms over the years. And so, since the algorithm hates this channel basically because it doesn't know what it's about, which I don't either, I'm just going to use it as a throwaway channel to get the reps in. So consider this video today my first rep into making videos, I guess. And it's really just a rant, but I need this. This is cathartic for me. And maybe some of you out there feel the same way. I don't really have too many people in my life that I can talk to about this stuff. And I know that the problem is largely me, but I'm a little bit more of a free-spirited person. And so this day job thing, man, I need a way out. And I've got 3 older kids. College really isn't an option for me. I don't know what I would want to do anyway. To be honest, I'm pushing 40 years old, and as crazy as it sounds, it's kind of YouTube or bust for me. Wanted to do this for a long time, and oftentimes I don't even think I know what I want to talk about, but maybe some of you can resonate with some of the things I've said about work. So with that being said, I would be interested in some of you that are maybe a little bit more like me, who are stuck in a job that you hate, that maybe even you're really good at, maybe even excellent at, and you feel stuck, there's no other avenue for you. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what your thought process is. Let me know if, you're looking for an escape route, what's your way out? I'm kind of done complaining about this. I complain about my day job to my wife and to other people, and so I'm kind of done complaining about it, and I'm really just kind of in the mode that hey man, it's now or never. You're pushing 40, and it's now or never. If you don't do something with your life at this point that you actually want to do and care about, then you never will. And so, yeah, you guys in the chat, in the comments, whatever, let me know if you feel the same way. I've never really fit into the box of like a perfect little employee, and I'm good at my job. I dare say that I and my company are the best in the world at what we do. And so it's not that I want to be lazy. It's not that I don't want to work. It's that I have this very deep need to do something that's meaningful to me, that's worthy of my time and energy. And oftentimes at my day job, I just feel like I'm spinning my wheels for causes that I don't care about, for people that I don't like. And so, yeah, let me know how you feel in the comments. Let me know if you're stuck in the same situation as me. But let's not be people who complain. Instead, let's be people who find solutions or create them. And I think today, on my way to work, that's really all that I have to leave you with. And so I leave you that today. Let me know how you feel in the comments, and maybe we'll be talking soon. See ya.